Hiya guys, as you can see, today we'll be covering magistrates. Although I've mentioned that this is specifically for AS law, you may find that it comes up in your A-level exam too as an 11-marker question. So, whichever exam you're sitting, make sure you know enough about the magistrates to pass your exam. Okay, what are they? A magistrate is a trained, unpaid person who is appointed to judge minor cases or preliminary hearings in the magistrate's court. I've given you 4 examples of the types of cases which the magistrates may listen to. So, minor theft, criminal damage, public disorder, and motoring offences. Make sure you note them down, as giving examples in your work will give you more marks. This slide really should be learned off by heart. It's a great way to open your essay, and it shows that you're diving in rather than waffling about. So yeah, try to learn this slide. The role of the magistrates. Criminal matters. I've only given you 4 examples of criminal matters, as I don't think you'll need many more. But if you do think that you want to have 1 or 2 extras, just feel free to ask. Okay, so the magistrates court hear over 95% of all criminal cases. They issue warrants for arrest and search. They decide if a case should be adjourned. They grant application for bail, or not. They may also remand defendants in custody. Yeah. And then civil matters. I've not really focused on the civil matters too much, as your exam is predominantly criminal law. This will just show your legal awareness, so try not to forget to include it. So basically, magistrates hear cases in the family proceedings court and make decisions on a range of issues affecting children and families. For example, making orders for residents and also contact with children. Right, the facts. There are just over 30,000 lay magistrates. They can also be known as justices of the peace. I included that in there because, well, just because it's some extra information which your examiner would like to see. So make use of it. When it comes to writing your essay, you can maybe take turns in calling them magistrates and then justices of the peace and so on. It will make your essay sound a lot less repetitive. Okay. They normally sit as part of a bench of 3. District judges also work in magistrates' court. District judges are not lay people. They can sit on their own and they have the same powers as the magistrates. You may feel that you don't want to include the information about the district judges, which is fine, but if you do, it can only enhance your answer. And finally, 1,500 new magistrates are appointed each year by the Lord Chancellor on recommendation from an advisory committee. Okay, so next we have qualities. Magistrates don't need to have any formal legal qualifications, but there are some requirements which were set out by the Lord Chancellor in 1988. They are known as the 6 key qualities. So these are good character, understanding and communication, social awareness, maturity and sound temperament, sound judgment, commitment and reliability. These are very important for you to learn. Please don't make an excuse not to have this in your answer in your exam. Okay. And other requirements. You have to be aged between 18 and 65. You have to be prepared to sit for at least 26 half days per year. You're not allowed to have any serious criminal records. You're not to be an undischarged bankrupt. You're not to be a member of the armed forces. You're not allowed to have relatives within the justice system, and you're not allowed to have any hearing difficulties. It's a lot to ask for, actually. Okay, the interview process. there is a two-stage interview process, as you can see. So in the first interview, basically it's used to find out the candidate's personal attributes, particularly the key 6 qualities which I mentioned above. They will be questioned to find out their attitudes on various criminal justice issues, for example, drink driving and young offenders. The second interview is aimed at testing the candidate's judicial aptitude, and this is normally a discussion of 2 case studies which are normally heard in the magistrate's court. And once the interviews are completed, the advisory committee will submit the names of the suitable candidates to the Lord Chancellor, who will then appoint new magistrates from this list. Training. Magistrates are normally trained by the clerk of the court, but they are supervised by the Judicial Studies Board, and they decide the key areas which the magistrates need training on. Training is actually divided up into 4 areas of competence. So I've just put the points on there and I'm going to explain them now. Again, if you want to have the information which I'm about to say, just ask me, just send me a message, okay? So, managing yourself. This focuses on some of the basic aspects of self-management in relation to preparing for court, conduct in court, and ongoing learning. Secondly, working as a member of a team. This focuses on the team aspect of decision-making in the magistrate's court. Thirdly, making judicial decisions. This focuses on impartial and structured decision-making. Okay, fair enough. Managing judicial decision-making. This is only for the chair of the bench and focuses on working with the clerk, managing the court and ensuring effective, impartial decision-making. Right. As you can see, the training of magistrates is quite long, which is why I've actually spread it over the 2 slides. Also, I've not really gone over them in a lot of depth. Here, the main point is that you know each of the bullet points, perhaps knowing 1 or 2 of them in some more detail. The examiners do know you only have a certain amount of time, so don't panic if you don't get everything written down. Okay, so, the induction course, this is before the sitting, as it says. It's 16 hours worth of training, and it consists of 3 hours instruction at bench level, 6 hours observation in court, 6 hours participatory decision-making exercises, and a 1-hour appraisal session by the clerk. Basic training in year 1, it's just covering the main areas of the work they do, including adjourning cases, bail applications, legal aid, and so on. Basic training in years 2 and 3 is 8 hours training from a list of topics provided by the Judicial Studies Board. Refresher training is after 3 years and every 3 years. Obviously, they're given handbooks to help them with their decision making. Specialist training is really only for magistrates who are working in the youth court or family proceedings court. And human rights training, it's literally saying that they received training on the Human Rights Act of 1998. Okay. Retirement and removal. Retirement age is 70, but your name will actually be placed on a supplemental list. So if they do need you to work again, you're there. And if you have to be removed, it will be because of misbehaviour, failure to meet competency standards, and neglecting to take a proper part in your duties. Okay, so finally, here we've got some advantages and disadvantages of the magistrates. It's pretty important to know because, well, you have to evaluate if you want to get top marks in your exam. So make sure you go over it in detail. I'm not going to go over all of them, So use your own materials to add more knowledge to your own work and your answers, okay? Okay, so advantages: a cross-section of society. Lay magistrates come from a wider cross-section of society than professional judges, and in particular there is a greater gender balance with a 49% of magistrates being female. Local knowledge. Lay magistrates come from the local area, therefore they have local knowledge which will help them make fairer decisions in court. A disadvantage: white, middle class, middle-aged. Middle classes are overrepresented on the bench. There are far too few working people in magistrates, and it's because they just don't have the time to become magistrates. Inconsistency in sentencing. Sentences vary greatly between different magistrates' courts, and even between different lay magistrates in the same court. There are also inconsistencies in the granting of bail. So you'll need to go over some of the rest by yourself, but if you do want help, you can let me know and I'll help you. Okay, so just finally, really, feel free to message me with any questions you have about anything I've written down or explained, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If you want to have this slideshow on PowerPoint, that's cool. Just send me a message, name it Magistrates PP, and in the main body just send me your name and your email address, and of course you can have it. I hope this helped you with any problems or issues you had with magistrates. And if you are sitting exams anytime soon, good luck, and let me know how you got on.